Welcome to Rigs of Rods. This is a game all about cars and heavy machinery and planes and boats and all sorts of stuff. It's only Battlecry recording because I wanted to do some solo content on the channel. So we're playing Rigs of Rods. So this game is all about, driving and as you can see, I got in an accident in this world. Let me switch to a different world quick. This is Rigs of Rods. As you can see, this is the world. This is known as Small Island, which is basically just a giant island that I absolutely love. I usually do like role plays here where I pretend like I'm a mechanic and I'm buying cars all around the island. And so yeah, there's several towns, including a few airports. This is like a lake type town, and there's also secret bits. So you see these tracks lead down to small little areas of residence, as you can see here. But then also up the mountain there's even more, such as this little place with two houses. So yeah, this is Rigs of Rods. So now let's get back to the action. So first thing you'll notice is there's a guy, and this is you. This is your character. You can't change his skin or anything like you could do in Minecraft and other games. But let's spawn up a car. As you can see, I've got tons of cars, and this is just the beginning. There's loads more. So let's load up one of my favorites, and that is the Burnside Wagon. As you can see, you can also download different colors for your cars. So let's choose Lux 2. As you can see, it's a two-tone paint job for this old 70s, 80s wagon. And listen to this. Okay, that was not really impressive, and I think I need to turn the volume up a bit. Also, you can respawn your car by pressing the delete key, which you could say it deletes the state of the car back to its original form. So yeah, let's go for a drive. There's different camera modes. You can go hood cam, interior cam, side cam. I think this is the cinematic cam. Then you've got, your free roam camera where you can look around and stuff. I usually play in this mode. So yeah, this is actually a really detailed game, driving game. The physics are insane, and the car damage models are really good. Considering that this game first came out in 2005. That was a long time ago. That was nearly 20 years ago. You're looking at an almost 20-year-old game. And yet it still looks really good. To an extent. It does look a bit dated in some areas, but it's not that bad for 2005 standards. Anyways, let's take a bit of a drive. Now, of course, driving is not the only thing you can do in this game. You could, for example, say you lost control and crash. So look at the detail. It's not hyper realistic, but for its time, pretty good. I mean, try to do crashes like that in like Gran Turismo 4 on the PS2. It won't look as good. Also, you can shift gears by pressing page up and page down. Page up, side goes up. and page down goes down, obviously. There's also different shifting modes. You can, for instance, if you press Q, which is shifting to neutral, you can have manual shift with auto clutch, fully manual sequential shift, fully manual stick shift, fully manual stick shift with ranges, and then automatic. I tend to leave it in automatic, although I've been playing manual recently, so, which is cool. So yeah, let's head up this hill. Now, there are parts in this map where this car can't reach, and I'll show you that in a bit, but it can go up this hill rather fine. Also, while we're here, let me talk you through the different functions. So here is the main controls, and here you can turn on the lights, turn on the turn signals, turn on the hazards. Here's your shift mode. You can stop the engine and turn it back on. Repair, parking brake. If you have a trailer or a caravan, you can hook it up by pressing L. Secure is when you say load this car up onto like a flatbed. You can secure it to the bed. This is the wheel differential. Now this won't have any effect on this car, but on some more off-roady cars you can shift between open, locked, and various other states. Now off-roading stuff. Then you've got the horn. Cruise control. For those who don't know, cruise control is where you set a speed and then it stays with that speed. A very useful feature. So let's try that out. So this will require some more fingers. Let's get to a... As you can see, I'm no longer hitting the accelerator. It is maintaining the speed I've selected, although I'm doing a very bad job of trying to keep it on the road. But you can deactivate it by pressing the brake. Then you've got the different camera modes. This is where you can pause the active physics and the vehicle or the environment physics. And what this can do is you can, like, say, pause, move the camera around, and like get a better action shot. Custom lights. This is where you can, if your vehicle has custom lights like auxiliary lights, you can activate from here. It's usually like control 1 or any of the numbers. Then we have commands. This is all the stuff you can do with a vehicle. So C1 or F1 is front left door. The odd numbers are what closes the door, and the even numbers are what opens the door. So as you can see, I just opened my door and I'm going to close it. And it works for all the other doors except for the tailgate and the hood. Some cars you can do that, but not on this one. And as you can see, for some reason it keeps on staying at this certain RPM, and when I brake, it still continues. It's just a little bug. You can often get rid of it by just revving the engine a bit. There we go, we got rid of it. So let's switch to a different car. Also up here is your essentially like settings, no, not settings, main controls. So here you can, oh wait, we just get your parking brake. Here you can get new vehicle, show a description of the vehicle, reload vehicle if say you encounter a problem, remove current vehicle, remove all vehicles, activate all vehicles, which turns them on. Activated vehicles never sleep. This is a feature where if the vehicles are activated, they never sleep, so they always like run stuff. Send all vehicles to sleep. This is where it powers everything off. Reload current terrain. If you encounter like say a glitch, a bug glitch, and then vehicle AI. You can select which vehicle you want, and there's different presets. where it uses the AI model, the game AI, vehicle AI to move the vehicle around. You can set the speed, the altitude. You can say how many vehicles you want, the distance between them, where the car will be, second car will be, how many times you want to do this. So yeah, this is where all the vehicles show up. You can get rid of them by pressing X, by pressing this. Saves is where you have different save states. I've got some save states. This is settings like your volume, reflect. This is where you like adjust your, if you want to say have more reflections, which will tank your frame rate. This is where you can select the FPS cap. I have it on max because I typically don't like it when games limit you to a certain FPS. Slow motion. This is, you can, if you say gonna drive off a cliff. Let's actually put that into practice. So, vehicle physics paused. Now, let's press end again. Okay, this isn't working well. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I added too much. So as you can see here, it's slow motion. Which gives you like a more satisfying view of cars being damaged. Also, the sound doesn't translate to slow motion, so it's in real time. Yeah, let's bring it back to the normal thing. Let's actually move this car back onto the road. Oh, if you're wondering how I move the car, it's using the arrow keys on your keyboard. And then you can press Control to make it move faster, or Shift. So let's try the time lapse, or like the fast motion. Oh, excuse me. Let's get up to speed and press end. And as you see, it's essentially a time lapse, and this will tank your frame rate. So if you don't have a decent PC, you will encounter some frame problems like I am. Anyways, this is your FOV, where you can select like how wide your field of vision should be, field of view should be. When this is time of day, you can select between like say nighttime, daytime, morning, evening. I just have it at midday. I don't really like it. This is some control that you don't have to worry about. Tools. This is the various tools you can do. I won't get too much into this because this is a bit more technical. I don't even know what these things do, but I do know this. Visual options. You can select if you want solid, wireframe, or points. Then you've got normal view, skeleton view, node details. I'll get into nodes in a while, in a bit. Beam details, wheel details, shock details, submesh details. So different ways of viewing things. Anyways, let's move this car back onto the runway. Then let's select a different car. And I'll get into how to download more cars in the game. So let's choose, what's another good vehicle in this game? Oh, the van, the G20. This is a really good van. A good model. So as you can see, it's a full-size Chevy van from the 80s and early 90s. As you can see, it performs a lot differently. Also, there's different things that can show up here. Like, say, if you have a modern car with traction control, that'll show up here. If your car has ABS, it'll show up here. And you can deactivate them here with some more controls. You also have custom lights that turns on. I don't really know what that turns on. But here you see you have more options. As you can see, this door can open. You can also adjust the springs, that's also something you can do. So yeah, let's continue with this game. This car for a bit. And I turned the sound a bit too high, but it should be fine. Okay, so let's actually teleport to a different place. How do you teleport? Well, my friends, if you press tab, you get a mini-map. Now this will not only show you where you can go, but you can also teleport and set a waypoint. Here's the full-size map. You can use the left mouse button to teleport, right mouse button to set AI waypoint for wherever AI should go, and you can create your own little paths and stuff. The middle mouse button or the scroll wheel, by pressing it in, will remove all waypoints, and you can use the scroll wheel to zoom in the minimap. So let's actually teleport to this area. So let's show you the part that's difficult to get up. So in this map there are two different hills like this. First one's actually the previous town, but it's not as bad as this. See that bit? It's a real pain to get up. And you can often have times where your car will flip over and then roll down the mountain. That's what's almost gonna happen with this van. This van is crap. Does it have diff locks? It does. I don't know how accurate that is to the actual van, but I'm sure there was some. Okay, so diff locks help a lot with getting up this bit. But you saw how difficult it was without the diff locks. And that's what most cars do when they try to get up this hill. So essentially disable the diff locks, which you can do by pressing W. S starts the engine, X turns on the ignition, Z shifts gears manually, right. So I think that's the basics of the game, but let's talk about how this game works. So this game, actually let's spawn a car back up. Let's select this Ford Falcon. So this game uses beams and nodes. I don't know how well you can see this, but as you can see there are several dots. Those are nodes. And let's go down to beams. This is all the lines. This is known as beams and nodes. And what this does is every car has beams and nodes. Every node needs a beam, and every beam needs a node. And you can actually set different values for each point. So let's say that bit. So let's say when when we rip the bonnet up, you can see it changes the state of the node. So there's different hardness levels. You can either have something soft, like say tires, or something hard like steel. And there's a threshold that each beam can withstand. When it hits that threshold, it collapses, which is what was happening here. So let's go back to normal view. As you can see, the hood has fallen off. Also, there's a grabbing mechanic which I just used, where you can use the mouse, hold left button, rip your mouse in a direction, and it'll rip off anything. Also, to zoom in and out, you can hold the right mouse button and use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. Now let's throw this car over the hill, which is something you can do. As you can see, we're about to enter the water. And oh, sometimes some cars are not fully destructible and will, once they reach a certain damage threshold, they come back to their original state. But now I want to show you what happens when cars land in water. You probably know what's going to happen, but let me show you anyway. As you can see, the engine becomes full of water and the engine stops and then you sink. Some cars don't sink, but that's all due to their code. Alright, so let me show you how you can get different stuff. So this is the main menu. Here you can select single player with different maps. You can resume the game you're already playing. Multiplayer. This game has multiplayer, which is impressive. And I believe it still works. Maybe I'll try that some point. Let me know in the comments if you want to see multiplayer Rigs of Rods. Maybe I'll get Dell to join in. Here's the settings, which is your basic settings. You've got render system, your general settings, gameplay settings, your graphics settings, audio settings, controls, and there's like diagnostics and like debug stuff. Here's a shortcut to the controls where you can set your different key maps. There's your about, exit games, but repository. This is where you download your cars, maps, and all sorts. As you can see, there are different maps, different vehicles, but it isn't just those things. You can say get colors for different vehicles. You can get different pieces of heavy machinery, different maps, different vehicles that are of the larger side. I forgot the word. Industrial vehicles. You can get buses. Oh, excuse me. Caravans, and you can actually filter what you want. So there's also trains, planes and boats, trailers, and terrains and static objects. You can also search more specifically. You can sort by last update, date added, title, downloads, rating count. View is a list. You can have it to compact or basic. I have it at a list, the default. Anyways, let me show you some I'm gonna record some cinematic stuff, then show you what you can do with this game. Then I'll talk about the future of this game. And that's Rigs of Rods. As you can see, you can do so much with this game. What I just did is only a fraction of what you can do. So what's the future of Rigs of Rods? Well, it's a bright future actually. There's still a great community going on for this game. And there's even been a sequel that's received way more attention than Rigs of Rods did. BeamNG Drive. BeamNG Drive is this next project the team who made Rigs of Rods worked on, and as you can see, it's really popular. But it's good to see once in a while look at where things came from, look at the origins, the genesis, and see what the possibilities were. Thank you for watching this episode on Rigs of Rods. It's a bit of unusual content for this channel, as we usually do Minecraft stuff, reaction stuff, Terraria stuff, and the forest stuff. But I wanted to expand the horizons to other games, such as Rigs of Rods. And I might even be planning on doing some roleplay stuff soon. So, as always, thanks for watching, have a good one, and we'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.